Good evening. Welcome to the RSU5 Board of Directors meeting. It's Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, and we are at the Durham Community School. We have a brief agenda this evening for our regular board meeting for some staff hires. We will then adjourn this meeting and move into the annual budget meeting starting at 6:30. So we'll get started. We'll get started with this meeting. There's a few folks that will be joining us later and a few folks that are out of town, but we'll start this part of the session right now with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we don't have any minutes, but I think we do have adjustments.
We do. Under item 14, personnel, we're going to add an item G, consideration approval to employ an assistant principal at Durham Community School. Item H, consideration approval to employ an interim assistant principal at Freeport Middle School. And item I, consideration approval to employ a math teacher at Freeport High School.
All right, so we will move right to, we don't have good news and recognition this evening. We'll move right on to public comment. So quick reminder for public comment. We ask that in order to hear from different folks, each speaker limit their comments to 3 minutes. For those who have not participated in our meetings before, we'll just review a few quick rules ahead of time to ensure public comment process goes smoothly with no surprises. At the outset, we ask speakers to identify themselves with their name and their town of residence here in the district. We ask that you try to be brief and not repeat yourself. We know discussions of school-related items can be emotional, but please remember that our children are watching and that we're neighbors, so please be civil. We'll not permit profanity or shouting at one another or comments that disparage or attack individuals or groups of individuals. The speakers should direct all comments to the board. This is an opportunity for the board to listen to the opinions of the public that relate to school and education matters. It is not a public debate nor a conversation, so no questions should be directed to the board, and the board will not be responding to questions or comments if asked. We're here to listen. The board will not permit complaints or allegations against staff members. These are personnel issues, which the board is not permitted to hear in public. If there are complaints against staff, they will be handled according to the complaint procedure KEB. If you're interested in a two-way conversation, the RSU5 website, individual emails, and phone numbers are available for the board members and the superintendent. So I thank you for your patience while I go through the introduction. And we'll move on to public comment. So tonight we don't have a podium for public comment, but we just ask that you come up to the microphone here in the middle.
Good evening. Anthony Pringle, Durham, and I'm here again to address concerns related to last
I'm
week.
going to ask you just go a little bit closer to the mic, just because I know you have to be way closer than you think you do. I'm sorry.
I'll start it from the top if you restart my clock. All right. Okay, fair enough. I'll start again. So good evening, Anthony Pringle, Durham, and I'm here again to address concerns related to last week's subcommittee session regarding the draft policy addressing transgender and gender-expansive students. The fact that I have to stand here as a father and appeal for the most basic of protections for our young biological women and daughters is beyond troubling, but I will, because I believe that protecting our children is the most important responsibility we could ever have, because public servants will never take that right from parents, and because the evidence for the necessity to do so is increasingly overwhelming by the day. But don't take my word for it. Wisconsin high school under fire after trans woman 18 exposes genitalia to freshman girls in shower. Judge finds skirt-wearing teen guilty of sexually assaulting a female classmate in the Loudoun County School bathroom. Florida, a transgender student sexually assaulted a girl in a women's restroom at a Johnson Middle School. Let me clearly state, the growing evidence clearly shows that biological males have no place in biological females' bathrooms, locker rooms, or any other place of privacy or vulnerability. It is an obvious and now precedented danger to all students involved, and I say this seeking to protect all students from the full spectrum of consequences associated with these policies, from bullying to sexual harassment to sexual assault. Now, before any accusations are made, I am not here to hate. I do not. I'm not here to speak out against a trans student's individual rights or unique accommodations. I am, however, here to unequivocally state that their rights should never be prioritized above those of others, as this policy currently seeks to force implement. But we can fix this together. In your own words, in this very policy, all students have the right to privacy. That much we can agree on. And yet the same policy invites a biological male can freely violate the rights of our young women, destroying any sense of privacy our daughters have every right to maintain. We must revise this bias policy to afford all children equal protections. Trans students have rights. However, they have no right to infringe on the rights and privacy of other students, and they never will. My daughter, your daughters, have the undeniable right not to be subjected to increased risks of sexual assault just so that adults who should have their best interests in mind can instead appeal to emotions over facts, science, and empirical evidence, all supposed pillars of education. I come to you first in the spirit of collaboration. Let us help you protect all of our children. Otherwise, put it on the record again tonight. If the individuals on this board vote to implement this policy as currently written, wantonly offering no protections to the majority of our students entrusted with their care, after hearing our calls for concern, the incredibly serious implications, as you've seen, and that there are many others, are wholly your responsibility, and your names will not be forgotten for failing to protect all of our children when you had the chance. I'll make certain of it. Together we can make this district a safer place for all of our children by affording truly equal protections. I respectfully ask the board to adequately consider the real-world consequences of these policies that I have laid before you and adjust course while you still have the opportunity. I trust we will speak again.
Thank you, Anthony.
Good evening. My name is Nathan Ledger, and I'm living here in Durham. Just like you requested, I'm not going to repeat or talk about what other parents may bring up. I'm not going to name the policy or talk about bathrooms or locker rooms or any of that. I'm here simply to speak on behalf of parents. What I found last week on a Zoom call was kind of like, I struggled with it, and it's just me not liking the way things operate, and we don't like laws and rules and regulations. But what it kind of felt like was I hire a group of people to build me a house, as in we've elected you to make certain decisions. But then those contractors, electricians, and plumbers say, no public comment, no input from parents, no nothing. We're going to build you the house. We're going to pick out the cabinets. We're going to pick out the fixtures. We're going to determine how many bedrooms you have. We're going to lay out the policy for you. Don't worry. But after first read, second read, you'll have 3 minutes on a microphone to give us your input as a parent, and then that'll be it. And then you get what we build you. Period. End of discussion. I think there should be a lot more involvement with parents. I think there should be a lot more involvement with parents. And I'm going to say it one more time. Parents. It is our duly, solely responsibility to care for and provide education, a good home, food, and everything for our children. That is my role, not yours. I appreciate what you do, but I've slowly started to discover that the only way that I will have a direct influence on my children's development or their education is to have a seat somewhere on this table. And so this is my official announcement that I told you last meeting to get to know me. I will be here, and I will have a seat somewhere here so that I can protect the future of my children. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
My name's Emily Moker. I'm from Durham, and I am a parent here, and I have students in the district, and I just want to make sure that that there is another side in view of the trans gender student policy issue, and that I fully support the board. I want to thank you all for your hard work, especially the policy committee. And I just want to mention that this is not, I don't want to be talking about this right now because we have much more important issues like the budget to be talking about this evening. And I want to mention too, I want the public to understand that this issue is coming up right now during budget season for a reason. It is not just about folks not wanting to have progress and not wanting to be accepting of everybody, including LGBTQ students. It's also about just wanting to dismantle public education from the inside, and I want to make sure that folks in the public understand that when they're making decisions and choosing whether or not to support this board. But I want to thank you again for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Emily.
I'm Joan Muller, and I served on the Pownell Elementary School Board for 9 years back in the 80s, way back in the day. My children are in their 30s now. They lived in Pownell, didn't always go to all Pownell and RSU5 schools, but between the two of them, they attended all Pownell Elementary and Freeport High. So I'm here partly as a teacher, partly as a parent. I've been a teacher for 15, 20 years, something like that, along the way. And I feel strongly that education is twofold. And it's about educating our young people, our children, to be good, compassionate, responsible citizens of our town, our community, our state, our country. And that's a heavy role to fill for any institution and any endeavor. Secondly, or in addition, and not secondly, but also, is the academic aspect of education. And one, at this juncture in time, seems to be playing into another, that people seem to have many different views on what is appropriate to teach children or not teach children. And I will be right up front there. I have very strong views on how and what you teach. I think good teaching is found in every kind of school, public, private, charter, whatever. But this issue today is, it warms my heart that this policy is being worked on, because I feel like it is emblematic of the kind of people we want our children to be in terms of recognition of the other, people who are different than us, be they transgender, be they of a different race or ethnic culture or religion or beliefs. And my view is that my freedoms end where yours begin. And neither of us are entitled nor have the right to promote our individual freedom on another person, the person next to me, across from me, in the same town or elsewhere. So I want to thank you all for taking up this policy. It's a courageous act in this day and time, because there's sure to be backlash. But I commend you on being role models of exactly the kind of education and the kind of people that we hoped to foster growing up in our schools.
Hello, I'm here to talk about the policy.
Could I just ask you start with your name and your town?
Jessica Conley, Durham. I have a first grader here in Durham Community School, and I've got another one starting preschool next year. And I guess my concern with this policy, first off, I don't think it's an appropriate policy to have in a grade school. According to the state of Maine, the age of sexual maturity is 16, which means even the state believes that a child is not able to make sexual decisions well with, a well-informed decision, basically. And to be promoting or even talking about this to children that are younger than the age that the state deems them capable of making decisions in a sexual nature, I believe is inappropriate, because it's presenting an issue that they can't emotionally or intellectually handle. And someone else stated about the privacy in the bathrooms, and I remember as a child being in the girls' bathroom, and imagining a boy walking into the bathroom, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all would have squealed and freaked out. And I believe that my children deserve their privacy in a female bathroom. And if there's an issue, then there should be a non-gender bathroom that they can go to safely. But I don't believe that they are allowed to go into a female or a male bathroom when they are not a biological male or female. And I just want my girls to have the right to their privacy and their safety. So that's my concern, and I just want to make sure everyone thinks about the other side and their rights too. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Hello, I am Mercedes Poor, and I have 2 children in the district. I'm also an educator, and I've been in education.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We're just trying to be consistent. So, town you live in.
Oh, Pownell, the best town ever. I've also been in education for over 20 years, and I work primarily in academic policy now. And the funny thing about rights is that they often have a parallel in responsibilities. So no right exists by itself. There's always a responsibility that exists. And the school board in front of us has the responsibility to protect kids and to give some guidance to our teachers and our staff in RSU5. And I commend you for this document, which is your first step in doing those 2 things. Protecting kids in our schools and their rights to privacy, and giving some guidance to our staff. The reality is that some of those things have to be primary, and I hope and I pray that the school board and all of the parents in this district agree that a student's safety, their self-respect, their confidence, and the fact that they feel safe at school is exactly what we want to do. And I think you're on the right track with this policy for all kids. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mercedes. All right, so I appreciate, and I know the board does, all of the folks who took the time to get up and share their thoughts with us this evening. We will move right to 14 on our agenda, which is personnel, and we'll start with A. Do I have a motion for consideration and action to employ, what are we looking at for time? Okay. So, okay, quick question. How does the board feel about having the superintendent go through each individual candidate on the slate, just because we have quite a few and we have a meeting starting at 6:30? But voting as a slate. Are folks comfortable with that? Anyone not comfortable, I guess. If anyone's not comfortable, we'll do them individually. I'm totally fine with that. But just in the essence of time, if we could do one motion and second and vote as opposed to one on each. Colin?
I think just as long as there's a mechanism for us to, if there is a concern,
to pull one out.
To pull one out?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, so this could be the longest motion I've done, but do we have a motion for consideration to employ a special education teacher at the Pownell Elementary School for the 23-24 school year, to employ a science teacher at Freeport High School for the 23-24 school year, to employ a 4th grade teacher at the Mass Landing School for the 23-24 school year, 1 year only, to employ a 4th grade teacher at Mass Landing School for the 23-24 year, 1 year only, to employ a technology director for the 23-24 school year, to employ an athletic director for the 23-24 school year, to employ an assistant principal at the Durham Community School for the 23-24 school year, to employ an interim assistant principal at Freeport High School from August 22nd, 2023 through October 6th, 2023. What did I say, high school? Sorry. Interim assistant principal at Freeport Middle School for August 22 of 2023 to October 6, 2023, and to employ a math teacher at Freeport High School for the 23-24 school year. Maddie first, Beth second. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go through each one of these candidates, starting with our special education teacher at Pound 2019, and she was York County Teacher of the Year in 2022.
Questions or comments on that one? Okay.
Fourth grade teacher, 1 year only, at Mass Landing School is Ridgely Eckhart. She has a BS in Early Childhood Education from Susquehanna University in Pennsylvania, a master's in curriculum and instruction from Castleton University in Vermont. She holds general elementary grades K to 6 certification. Relevant experience, she was a pre-K 6 English teacher in Thailand, a grade 5 teacher in Malden, Mass., and a grade 4 teacher at Southwest Vermont Supervisory Union in Bennington, Vermont. References describe Ridgely as a strong communicator, implementing trauma-informed practices to support children, using data to inform decisions. She's highly respected among peers, an exemplary educator, having positive, supportive relationships with learners, parents, and community members.
Comments, questions? All right.
Another fourth grade teacher at Mass Landing School, Kayla McGinley. Kayla has a BS in elementary education with a concentration in English from St. Joseph's College. She holds a K-8 elementary teacher certification. Relevant experience, she's taught both grade 5 and grade 3 at Glenburn Elementary School in Glenburn, Maine. References describe Kayla as passionate about teaching, organized, setting the bar high, energized, and going above and beyond to create a positive and inclusive learning environment that fosters growth, creativity, and critical thinking.
Good. Oh, Colin.
Just a quick question. Could we have a reminder of why we have two one-year interim positions?
The two fourth grade positions?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Athletic director, Eric Hall. Eric has a BS in public management from the University of Maine, a master's in educational leadership from the University of Southern Maine. He holds the building principal administration certification as well as athletic director certification. Relevant experience, he's been assistant recreation director at the town of Lisbon. He's coached boys basketball at Lisbon High School as well as track and field at Gardner Area High School. And for the past 9 years, he's been the athletic director and assistant principal for Lisbon High School. References describe Eric as a strong leader of great character, collaborative, a positive role model, organized, having excellent communication skills, demonstrating genuine compassion and positive guidance for students.
Questions? No? All right.
Okay, on we go to the assistant principal at Durham Community School, Kate Hillman Harrison. Kate has a BS in elementary education with concentrations in mathematics, science, and English from the University of Maine. She also has a master's of curriculum and instruction from the University of Hawaii. She holds assistant building administrator certification, as well as certification as a curriculum coordinator, a math teacher for grades 5 to 8, English language arts teachers for 5 to 8, general elementary for K to 6, and science grades 5 to 8. Relevant experience, she was a grade 6 math and science teacher for MSAD 63 in Holden, Maine, a grade 5 and a grade 6 teacher of math and science at the Math and Science Success Academy in Tucson, Arizona, a gifted specialist at Scottsdale Unified School District in Scottsdale, Arizona. And currently, she's at is the International Baccalaureate Middle Years Program Coordinator at Scottsdale Uniform School District in Scottsdale, Arizona. References describe Kate as fair, kind, approachable, respected, having a strong work ethic, focused on what is best for students, extremely knowledgeable about curriculum, dedicated, and having a love for education and learning.
If I hadn't seen she went to school here in Maine, I might be a little worried about the winters between Hawaii and Arizona, but.
References describe Paige as approachable, collaborative, compassionate, hardworking, reflective, and student-centered.
So just as a reminder, so she came before us to serve in the interim role until the end of the school year. So this basically just extends that through Connor returning in the fall, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And the final one this evening, Morgan Johnson, for math teacher at Freeport High School. Morgan has a BS in secondary education and mathematics at the University of Maine. She holds certification as in mathematics. Her teaching experience, currently she is a math teacher at Hamden Academy. References describe Morgan as well-respected, flexible, organized, collaborative, and using high-impact strategies to engage students and help them grapple with and solidify difficult concepts.
Questions on that one? Okay, so everyone's still comfortable with the single vote? Yes.
I just wanted to point out Sam is here.
Yes, I was gonna, yeah. Ben, yes. Mike.
Would you mind altering or amending the motion to split it up by scope? So like athletic director, principal, or would that teacher?
Is there a specific one you want to pull out, or?
Well, you know my my reservation for these, but so for assistants, principals.
So teachers together and then administrators individually?
Yeah. Oh, no, not individually, but collectively. I mean, there were a couple of administrative. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Maura.
I just wanted to thank Sam. The mic's quiet tonight. I wanted to thank Sam for joining us tonight, and everyone for working so hard on all this hiring. I know we had some really big shoes to fill, so thanks for your hard work in bringing forward all these great candidates.
All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. So we'll vote on them as a slate. All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, thank you. Welcome to all our new staff, and thank you to Sam for where'd he go? I saw him right in front of me. Oh, there he goes. He is directly in front of me. Thank you for joining us tonight, Sam. I saw him already checking out the tech setup over there when he came in. So, all right. So we have our last public comment back on the agenda. We have exactly 10 minutes before our next meeting starts. So if anyone didn't have the opportunity to say something and would like to, here's your opportunity. Same rules apply.